Hi, it's James Martin here. Today I'd like to speak about land and the sensitive and evocative issues of land that are appearing again and again on our political speeches and the rhetoric that is being spoken of across South Africa right now. Having been in land reform for the last 3 decades, assisting people on farms, farm dwellers with land issues, I've come to understand the situation we have, and I think there's 3 things I want to discuss briefly. The first one, in terms of land, is to acknowledge the history of the land displacements in South Africa. The Khoisan, for 20,000 years, were the largest population group on the planet, and between the black and the white settlers, we managed to displace most of them from the SADC region and killed off at least 10,000 of them. So we also need to acknowledge the surplus people's treacherous policy of the apartheid government in the 60s, where 3.5 million blacks were displaced from land that they were living on and had lived on for many years. It's a painful history that I think needs to be acknowledged and recognized. The second thing is subsistence farming. When we speak about land and living off the land, subsistence farming is not possible for as long as you've got good road infrastructure, you've got public transport, you've got multinationals supplying food really cheaply, climate change, and access to food on supermarket shelves. It's cheaper to walk down to a Pick n Pay and to buy cabbages than it is to try and grow it in your back garden. Living off the land is a fallacy. It is no longer possible in South Africa the way it was many years ago. Just to highlight that, in the 1950s, the average size of a farm in South Africa was 700 hectares. Today it's 2,100 hectares, showing you that the economies of scale are what it takes to keep your food on your table by living off the land. In the 1990s, there were 50,000 dairy farmers in South Africa. In January this year, only 984 dairy farmers were milking their cows. I'm highlighting the fact that land is no longer the natural resource that we considered it to be. The third point is land reform today. I've just driven through the Eastern Cape, and from Kokstad to Mthatha, in 2 hours of driving, I didn't see more than 10 hectares of mealies that were planted. There is zero agriculture taking place in the Eastern Cape, for good reason, the ones that I've just described. Take the 62 land reform farms in the Mooi River area, which I've been intimately involved for 10 years. Of the 62 farms, 3 are functional. The rest have become subsistence, scrub grazing, random tracts of land